Hello Facebook, hello friends. My name is Tracy Allen and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I am bringing you Stampin' Blends. So today is day 4 of the 12 days of Stampin' Up! Christmas. Today is December 4th, 2022, and today we're going to feature Stampin' Blends. So I'm super excited to show you one of my most favorite tools and techniques that I use when I'm stamping. So I love my blends. I'm really excited to share that with you today. So if you're watching the replay or if you're watching the live here with me today I want you to go ahead and comment with your favorite coloring tool to get entered into our drawing. So I have a lot of fun giveaways. Every single day we're giving something new away. And tomorrow I will do the drawing for today's live. So you do need to get your entry in by 6 p.m. on December 5th, Mountain Standard Time, to be entered in. But definitely do that. I'm excited, again, to give away some really fun things. Hi, Stella. And to be entered into the drawing, I just want to know what your favorite coloring tool is. What do you like to color with? Do you just like to color with crayons? Maybe it's colored pencils. Maybe it's markers. Maybe it's our Stampin' Blends. So what are your favorite coloring tools? So go ahead and comment that. If you share this as well, you'll get an additional entry, but you do need to comment that you shared. Facebook doesn't always let me see who has shared a post, and so just make sure you comment with shared so you can get that second entry into our drawing. All right, I'm excited. I'm gonna flip the camera and go ahead and start with our drawing, and then I'm gonna show you all these fun coloring techniques using Stampin' Blends. All right. Don't mind my messy desk here. Okay. You can see a couple of the cards we're going to be working on today. Super fun. Oop, and I got a low battery. That's all right. All right, so our drawing, I said it was going to be a surprise because it's new product, and I just got the box yesterday of all of our retiring product, which was what I was giving away. So I'm going to show you, and we're actually going to use this in some of our cards today. This is the festive foils. So festive foils come in a pack of 12 by 12, and they're foil foil paper. And so you get 3 different colors. You have the soft succulent. Oh, how pretty is that? You have the gold, which has a yellow background, and I'll show you how I used it a little bit later. And then you've got this gorgeous cherry cobbler. You can see I used that on one of our cards today as well. So today what I'm giving away is a 6-pack. So I've cut this down. You've got a 6 by 6 pack that includes 2 of each one of those colors. And just so you know, that whole pack right now is on sale. So if you are interested in having it, it's $4 for the entire 12 by 12 pack. So don't miss out on that. Make sure that you, if you don't win the drawing and get some, that you go online to get that paper, because it is so, so pretty. And it is going to be gone soon because that is out. That is from our July through December mini catalog. And almost everything in there is retiring, so it's all while supplies last right now. So click the link at the top and you can see that. I went ahead and shuffled it. And thank you again, everyone who watched and commented yesterday. I super appreciate that. Yay! All right. Marianne, you are the winner of our beautiful foil papers. Yay, thank you for watching and sharing, Marianne. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And I better write your name on a Post-it or I will promptly forget. That is what happens. My brain is not as young as it used to be. All right, Marianne, I will get in touch with you and get that in the mail for you. All right, today we are playing with Stampin Blends, and I'm super excited to share with you some techniques around Stampin Blends. Stampin Blends are alcohol-based markers, so if you've ever used a Copic or you've ever used a Spectrum Noir marker that's an alcohol marker, alcohol markers blend well together. And so the whole concept behind having Stampin Blends is they come in a pack of 2. They come in a light and a dark. So when you order them, they're $9, but you get both the light and the dark. And you use them to blend together to do shading. Now, one of the reasons I prefer Stampin Blends over some of the other alcohol-based markers, one, affordability, and a single marker in some of the other brands can get very expensive. The second reason I love these is because it only takes 2 colors to really do a nice job of shading. I don't find that I need a third color, and most of the other companies out there recommend having a third color with your blends if you're doing any kind of alcohol coloring. So Stampin Blends is great. You've got 2 colors. There's pretty much every color that we offer in ink, we offer in our Stampin Blends. If we don't offer it, it's because the dark or the light is close enough to a different color that you don't need it. So for instance, we don't have Gorgeous Grape, right, with the Highland Heather, because the Gorgeous Grape really is the Highland Heather dark. And so you get both of those colors to match the inks. And of course, like everything with Stampin' Up, everything matches, right? Your ink and your designer series paper and your ribbon and all of that stuff. So one more thing to add to your collection if you're looking to do some coloring. Now, people are always saying, well, I don't like to color. Why would you color? You can just ink up, you can just ink and stamp. But I think it gives a lot of dimension to your cards. So this is one of the cards I just recently did. So cute. And this is using the North Pole Mischief stamp set. Now this stamp set is also while supplies last, so it is currently available. I did double check like 10 minutes ago just to make sure what I was giving you is still available on the website, but it is while supplies last. So North Pole Mischief, this one is $21. So stinking cute and really good to use with your blends. One of the reasons I like these open stamped images is because you can color them. They're great to color with all types of different coloring tools. But again, we're going to use Stampin' Blends with them today because I love Stampin' Blends. But you can see I've got my cat here, and I made him kind of a Siamese cat because I feel like those cats are pretty mischievous. And I've got my cute little dog over here, and you can see I've got darks and lights in the bow where there's kind of shadow and where there's not. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. Darks and lights, darker ears and lighter body. And that's the nice thing about Stampin' Blends is you really can shade and get a variety of color out of it. Look at the fish tank, so cute. All right, so that stamp set's super fun. Another stamp set that I've been playing with is our A Little Cheesy. A Little Cheesy has these cute little sentiments, and this is from our annual catalog. And I love this one because as I'm stamping, it's simple, it's easy, but you get a really cute card out of it. So where there's a wine, there's a way. All I did for this one was I colored in the wine using our Merry Merlot. Oh, actually, cherry cobbler. Did I use cherry cobbler? I used cherry cobbler. Look at that. You don't really need the Merry Merlot because this is dark enough to match it. But you've got the cherry cobbler here. I've got the dark and the light. I started with some dark, and then I filled it in with the light, and all I did was fill in the wine. Now, in order to get this shadowing at the bottom, I used our light gray granite, and I just added a little bit of gray around the bottom of the cup. And that makes it look like it's sitting on something, right? It's on a tabletop. It gives it a little more dimension. And so it's super easy. I definitely recommend if you're going to start with Stampin' Blends, definitely the gray granite, because you'll use that a lot. That's actually going to come in handy quite a bit as you're shadowing underneath your images. I find myself using that one a lot as I color. So again, super simple, and then I've used that beautiful foil paper as my background there. So that can be a Christmas card, but I think it's pretty festive for any time. I think that might be a New Year's card, right? That'll be fun. All right, so we're going to use another stamp set that I love called Nothing's Better Than. Now, the fun thing about this stamp set is it actually has ink for the images inside. So you have a filled in as well as an outline that you can stamp in. So I could have stamped in my cookie on the inside, but I decided not to. Now, there's a reason I use so many cookies today, and that's because today is National Cookie Day. So if you didn't know that, hello, welcome, happy National Cookie Day. Hopefully you've got a cookie somewhere that you can go eat to celebrate National Cookie Day. And if not, have some cookies tomorrow and say that it's in remembrance of yesterday because you missed it. That's okay. Cookies are good anytime. But I decided to use as many cookie stamps as I could tonight to commemorate National Cookie Day, which is today. So I've gone ahead and I have stamped my image. Move these little things out of the way here. I have stamped my cookies along the side using Memento black ink. So you'll notice in all of my stamped images, I started with Memento black. There's a reason for that. Memento black will not smudge or smear when used with alcohol markers. If you use any of our other water-based inks, so our standard stamp pads here, if you use any of those and then try to color over the top of them with the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol-based markers, it will smudge. The alcohol will pick up the water that's in that ink and it will actually smear it on the page. And so you want to use Tuxedo Black. This is a fade-resistant dye, and so whatever is in it, I don't know what glorious things they put in this, but this is going to be what you use for your outline image to color in. This is going to be what doesn't fade, what doesn't run. You want to give it just a couple seconds to dry. When you stamp it, don't go right over it, right over the top. Give it, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute to dry. But after that, this is definitely the ink to use to color with. So start with your Memento ink. I've done that already on my image. I just stamped a couple of cookies here because they're so cute, right? I love these cookies. And I went ahead and I got out my favorite color for cookies, which is crumb cake. And again, you get the light and the dark of your crumb cake here. And then I wanted my chocolate chips to be a lot darker and to be kind of a different color of brown. And so I pulled out one of our other blends. This is bronze, and it comes in a set with bronze and ivory. So you can do a little bit of skin tone use with this. We have a whole set of skin tone pack that I actually use quite a bit more often than I use this one. This one I use more for browns when I'm trying to get a nice brown color. So I'm going to start by using one of the ends. You'll see there's two tips. There's a brush tip and a fine tip. So the brush tip is going to be like a standard marker. It's going to allow you to do some outlining, some coloring. It's going to be a lot more precise than the brush tip at the back. The brush tipping, you see mine is well loved. The brush tip, there we go. The brush tip is like a paintbrush. It's going to give you a lot more room to blend your colors together. So because I just want to color my chocolate chip cookies, I'm just going to do the marker side. And I'm just going to go in and color over the stamped cookie image that we did. So I'm just coloring over the dark black chocolate chips. And then I'm going to go in and just do a couple little. Now this will blend in, as you'll see in a minute. So it doesn't really matter where I put my little chocolate chips. I just want to have that little extra bit of brown in here as I'm coloring. And I just follow the outline that's on the stamped image. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and come in with my, I always start with the dark. Now, it just really depends on how you like to color. I start with the dark and blend it into the light. For me, that's easier because I can pick up the dark color and kind of move it into the lighter area. Some people like to start with the light and build their color, so they'll actually color it all with the light and then come in with the dark. It really is a preference thing. Play with it, see what you prefer, but I, again, like to start with the dark. It's kind of like when you were coloring as a kid and you outlined everything with a color first and then you colored in the middle just to kind of make it stand out. That's sort of how I think of it when I'm coloring my cookies here, or when I'm coloring anything. Now I'm going to use the thicker side because I do want to get a lot of area around the cookie. And cookies tend to be darker on the outside, right? When you cook them, make sure I grab the dark, yep. When you cook a cookie, they cook from the outside in. Usually the bottom gets browned, and then the outsides get a little more brown. But it's not always even, so I don't want to make it look even here. I'm going to make a few ridges where it's thicker, darker, and it's thinner, dark. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to come in with my light. And now I can start blending that color together and building that color. So as I come in with the light, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to go right over the top of that dark that I just colored, because I want to pick that up and start moving it into the center of my cookie. And you'll notice I'm going around the outside because I want the center to be the lightest part of my cookie. So I'm going to color that last, but I want to pick up that dark and kind of blend it into the center. So I've got a good amount there. I'm just going to go over that middle part real quick. So now I've given our cookie a little bit of dimension, right? It doesn't look flat. It looks like it has some light shining on it. There's some darker and some lighter spots on our cookie, and it looks more like a real cookie. If I was just to stamp that with brown, it would just be a flat brown cookie. It wouldn't have a lot of this dimension. So that's why it's so much fun to come in with the blends. Now I went ahead and used the die cuts that come with this to spell out the word cookies. And I cut out my own little cookie here. So I'm going to take this and I'm gonna adhere this cookie. Where do I want cookies? I kind of want cookies up here. There we go. I'm just going to adhere the single cookie with a glue dot. So it's popped up a little bit, but not like all the way. It's not going to be a dimensional. I want it to have some dimension, but I don't want it to be like, I don't know. I want it to look popped up, but not too much, because I am going to put my cookies over the top, and my cookies actually has an adhesive back on it because I used some of our adhesive sheets to create this word cookies. And this is actually layered, so I actually layered 3 of the word cookies that I cut out on top of each other. And I just noticed there's, where's my take your pick tool? Oh man, all my tools ran away. Oh, there it is. That's what happens when you're working hard here. I just noticed that's, I'm gonna get that out of here. There, seriously. It'll be difficult on me, aren't you? All right, I'm gonna put my word cookies over the top here. So cute. And it says, cookies, you make everything better. I mean, let's face it, cookies make everything better, so I'm totally on board with that statement. Perfect sentiment for Cookie Day. Now, there is a little tiny eye that goes with the cookies, and I'm going to try and get the backing off, and if I can't, I'm going to give up and just make my card here, but I can always put it on later if I can. Ooh, I got it. All right. And it sticks. Yay. Get that into position there. Okay, cookies. You make everything better. I went ahead and took some of our really beautiful Orchid Oasis paper and some of our pale papaya, and then I just tied a bow around it, and I'm gonna pop that up somewhere. I've got some dimensionals. So if you're watching the live today, we are giving away, I'll be giving away some of the cards I'm making today, as well as a surprise embellishment for someone who comments on our live today. So your comment is going to be, what coloring tool do you like to use? Maybe it's Stampin Blends. Maybe you like colored pencils. That's a popular one for sure. Maybe you like to color with crayons. Maybe you like markers. I know my daughter likes to use her markers to do those intricate coloring books where it's like, I don't know. I look at them and it's overwhelming to me, but she looks at them and loves them. That's kind of her thing. So she would probably say her markers because she loves that. But lots of different coloring tools out there. So comment with your favorite coloring tool. And then if you share this live, go ahead and comment shared, and you'll get an extra entry into the drawing tomorrow. And I'm giving away something every single day for 12 consecutive days. I'm on day 4 right now, so we're doing pretty good. All right, here's our cookies. Make everything better. I'm going to have to adjust that bow a little bit. We'll kind of put our paper right on top of it. There we go. Cookies, you make everything better. Alrighty. There you have it. There's our cookies card. And we've got our cookies all colored. And it's all with some dimensionals. We popped it up. Super, super cute. So that's a pretty standard way to use your Stampin' Blends, is to just color with them. You're coloring in your stamped images. And that's really popular. We did that with a couple of examples here. Now I'm going to show you an example of how you can use your Stampin' Blends a little bit differently. So we're going to use that same stamp set. That's super cute, a little cheesy. And we're going to go ahead and take one of the cookies from it, because again, today is National Cookie Day. Happy National Cookie Day. We're going to use some cookies on here. So I've already stamped our image, your one tough cookie. And I've gone ahead and colored that in with my blend. So you can see it's got darker around the outside, lighter in the middle. If I want, I could go over that again and give it even more color. But we're going to take some of our seam binding ribbon, and this is just white. It's Whisper White. That's how it starts. Whisper White ribbon, and it's called the Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon. And the great thing about this ribbon is it takes color really easily. So you can take the seam binding and you can take any of our Stampin' Blends, because they're alcohol markers. You can't do this with regular markers. Water-based markers will smear and smudge, but because they're alcohol-based markers, then it becomes permanent when it dries, and you can change your ribbon to any color you want, which is so cool. So I don't have a Poppy Parade color ribbon. We just don't offer that right now. And so this is the perfect chance for me to make a Poppy Parade ribbon that will match my card. So all you do is, I'm using the light. You can use the dark. It just depends on how dark you want to get your ribbon. And you're just going to open the brush side, and I'm going to lay it down on some paper. Make sure you've got some paper, because it will bleed through onto, it will stain whatever surface you're using. You can see mine bleeds through, but it doesn't get to my matte. So you're good as long as you put it on some paper. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and all I'm going to do is just swipe to the right here and color that in all the way to the end. I'm going to come back and do that toward the bottom so I can get this bottom half colored. Missed a little on the top, missed a little on the bottom. There we go. I'm going to let that dry for just a minute because it does need a few seconds to dry before you start playing with it. And once that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and wrap that around my card here. Put some dimensionals on while I'm waiting for that to dry. And again, because it's alcohol based, it dries really quickly. Okay. There we go. Easy peasy. And I'm just going to wrap that around the outside. And I'm going to tie that into a cute little bow right in the center. And I love it. I've got a whole nother color of ribbon. And it's a nice way to use one item to make lots of different, right? So you can use this one colored, this one white seam binding ribbon to make all kinds of different colored ribbons that can match all of your cards. Just using your Stampin' Blends. Oh, all right, here's the thing, guys. This happens every time I get on a live. I've got to use my reverse tweezers. If you don't use reverse tweezers to make your bows, you should. It's like having a third hand. And it gives me a nice tight bow every time. So sometimes without these tweezers, I struggle a little to get a bow nice and tight around my paper. It'll look cute, but it won't be tight. There we go. I want it to be nice and snug up against my paper. Not too big. There we go. That makes life so much easier. Alrighty. And I'm just going to trim the edges and give myself a cute little bow that I adhere to the front of our card. There we go. And we'll just take the back of this Stampin' Dimensionals off and put that right onto our card base. You can see my bow's a little sideways here on the back, so I'll fix that. Got all kinds of sideways there. Yeah. And now I've used my dimensionals to create a super cute little cookie card with a pretty ribbon that coordinates. I love it. All right, one more card, and I'm going to show you a couple ways to use your blends. So I started with that beautiful foil paper again. I love this yellow. And I had an extra butterfly from yesterday. So if you missed my live yesterday, I cut out a bunch of these butterflies to use with blends, or to use with our blending brushes. Today I actually used my blends and colored him in. So he's like 3 different colors of our yellows. And I just cut a piece of white cardstock and I started coloring on it. So I want to give this a background. So I've got Highland Heather. Remember, you get a light and a dark. And I've got our Daffodil Delight, and you get a light and a dark in that. So I started with our light Highland Heather, and all I did was just color across the top. I came in with the dark. I came back with the light Daffodil, and then the dark Daffodil. Now I'm going to pick up that light daffodil again, and I'm using the brush. And I'm going to go right over the top of what I colored. Now I'm going to pick up that dark Highland Heather. I don't want any white there, so I'm just going to kind of pick that up, and then lastly I'm going to use a little bit of the light Highland Heather and finish this off. So all I've done really is just create a background with my Stampin' Blends. I just wanted to give it some color. It looked a little boring. So I felt like white background was not going to work for me. I just needed it to have a little something to it. So we're going to go ahead and stamp right on this. Now I'm going to use the black Memento ink. You can use any color to stamp on at this point because you've already gone over it. If I had stamped my sentiment first and then went over it with the blends, I would want to make sure to use Memento ink. But now that I've stamped it, it's dried, I can stamp any color I want on top of that. And it's going to look great. So we're going to go ahead and just stamp our sentiment. This is from Happiness Abounds in the annual catalog. And I love these sentiments here. I just think the font is so pretty. And it has everything. Happy birthday, best wishes, friend. Congratulations. The one we're using is sending many thanks for all you do. And I just want it to stand out, so I'm going to stamp it in this Memento Black. And I'm going to stamp it right on top of our colors down here, so you can see where they kind of blend in together. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put our butterfly on, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals for that to pop that butterfly up. I like to cut them in half and use a little, you make them go a little bit longer, a little farther. All right, and we're just going to pop that toward the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and do one more coloring technique on this with our blends. Let me put that ink away or I'll end up with my fingers in it. Now I'm going to go ahead and color some of our pearls. When I saw this technique first used, I was so excited because, again, just like that white ribbon that we colored on, your pearls, you can color on them and it will give you whatever color you use. And that way you can turn one pack of white pearls into a pack of a variety. This could be your rainbow pack of pearls because you can color them any color you want, and I just absolutely love that. So I've got my pearls here. You can see I colored some in our this is our sweet sorbet. It's a dark sweet sorbet, but we're not using sweet sorbet, we're using our purples today. So I'm going to color a couple in our purple and a couple in our yellow. I'm going to use the dark because the dark really does stand out quite a bit more. If I wanted a lighter shade in here, I could use the lights as well. I'm going to use these medium ones. There's so many different sizes, and you can see I've cut them out and used a million of them. So I'll do like 3. And hopefully as I start to color them, you can really start to see them against this white background. Look how dark yellow those get with that dark. So, so pretty. There you go. And then I'll use the purple. We'll do 3 with our dark Highland Heather. I mean, what a great, awesome technique that you can take your pearls and turn them in to any color you want. And now I can make all of my embellishments stretch that much further because I can make them all different colors. I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to decorate this up. I'm going to use a couple of these yellow ones over here in the purple. Hopefully you can see that okay. You know, it's trying to slide away from me. There we go. Yeah. And then we'll put a couple of these purple ones here over in the yellow to give it a little more contrast. That's so pretty. So fun. It just gives it a totally different look. I mean, I just love that. And now we've used our blends to make this beautiful card. We're just going to finish it up by putting just some dimensionals on it. So that was it. We used a lot. We made a lot of cards today, and we used a lot of different techniques. So blends, Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based markers. That's what makes them so versatile. It helps them to blend together beautifully. It also makes them permanent when you color on things like your pearls or your ribbon. It's fun to play with and just kind of experiment to see what all you can create with it. They're probably, well, they are my favorite coloring tool. So if you were to ask me, they are my favorite coloring tool. But as you're commenting today, if you want to get entered into our drawing, please make sure you comment with your favorite coloring tool. What is the tool or the thing that you like to color with most? All right, here is all of our cards we made today. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. We got our cookies. Happy National Cookie Day. We got some of our cats. Oh, we can't forget the wine. Definitely have to have a place for the wine in here. There we go. All right, so thank you for joining me today on day 4 of our Stampin' Up Christmas, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 7:30 to continue the celebration of our 12 days of Stampin' Up Christmas. If you see anything here you like, you can click on the link above to go to our shop page. Remember, a lot of what I showed you today is while supplies last. Anything out of our July through December mini catalog, which I fondly call the holiday catalog because it has all our holiday product in it, is while supplies last right now. And there's some great specials on the website, so check those out. I'm also offering a few specials, so if you order from me, for every $50, $100, or $150 you spend, I have some extra incentives there as well. All right, have a wonderful day. Thank you all. Bye.